Good evening, internet users. I'm your host, Psychotica, and welcome back to the fucking Podga Chavcast. Welcome back to the Tchavda podcast. So recently, actually no, not recently. This isn't SRHR, even though I tried to film one recently. Today I was supposed to have a guest, but that might not happen until next week, so I'll have to push back some plans again. And speaking of while I'm on the topic of pushing things back, more delays. I know. It's not too fun. I don't like delaying projects. It makes it. I don't. It just. It makes me less motivated to do them because it's like I'll do them later and stuff. You know how it is. If you've ever done homework in your life, you definitely know. So I'll just do a solo one again. I've been taking a pretty long. I'm gonna be taking a pretty long break from Discord, probably like another week or something, and that's where most people that I was gonna have on the podcast contact me usually, and my co-host. That's how we communicate, but he's not gonna be available for a bit. So again, that's one of the reasons things are being pushed back to next week. So to this episode, I thought I'd just talk about, the usual stuff, the things that are on my mind, and history of the channel and whatnot, projects too. So yeah, let's jump right into that actually. Projects YouTube wise, the videos that I said were going to be kind of continuations of that 7-year, YouTube career documentary video essay. Those won't be pushed back too far because they may be a little more complicated to make, but I just need to find some time to make them, which I could probably do it next week. But with this scorching hot heat, I get back home like sweating my ass off, and I'm not motivated to record anything or write, so I just sleep all day. But summer break is coming soon, so for now I can just release a couple videos, within the next month or two, and then when summer break hits, I can actually start recording again. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I was supposed to release an EP too. This isn't exactly related to YouTube, but I was supposed to release an EP like this week or last week. But then I was like, wait, no, why would I do this to myself? I have like 6 days to finish it, and I'm only done with like 2 songs. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually release it during a nice, decent time, like where I actually have motivation and time to work on it. And otherwise, yeah, back to videos. I don't really know what to film because although I have ideas, usually when I try doing them, it either doesn't get released or doesn't make it very far into the editing phase. So I'll have to look more into that. I just don't have much motivation to work. Even on the podcast, this episode, I almost was like, let's just not film an episode today, or film or record. But I want to talk about it really, because I want to stay consistent at least with one thing if I can't stay consistent with the rest. So yeah, that's what's happening on YouTube. The video essay again will be pushed back. There's no confirmed date. I haven't thought that ahead yet, and I haven't even written the script fully. An SRHR was supposed to come out on the 27th, which was yesterday, but I filmed it. I went over the footage and edited the video a bit, and I did not like it at all. It was like the worst one I've ever filmed. I mean, the colors were really nice and the set looked good, and but the thing is, just the way what I said in the video just wasn't. I didn't really think that far for everything, so it was kind of just like a really stupid video. And I did want to release it, but I might just not. So I might re-record that this week or this weekend, or no, definitely not this weekend because it's going to be raining outside and the natural lighting's not going to be nice. But I did record a video, and I looked more into some other projects of mine. So yeah, music projects. I'm not working on anything currently. I started a bunch of stuff like a month ago, and I haven't finished any of it, and I haven't really touched much of it since last month. last month. I mean, like earlier this month, and it might be that for a while because I'm not really motivated to make any music. Mostly because it takes a lot of work. I personally think it's a lot more working than editing a video, because at least the standards that I have to reach for my own like content aren't very high. It's like I don't need to have any crazy edits or anything. But when it comes to music, you need to think more about what you're doing, and not like music theory only. I mean, I don't know shit about music theory. I just jam out and make whatever I want to make. And that's the same for YouTube. But for YouTube, you have a lot more control over what you make, and in that sense. So I've been feeling nostalgic again, and I've been going through a lot of my old songs that I've written, and a lot of like old projects from 2019, 2020, and I just now realized that I've written over 120 songs. Holy crap. I thought I wrote a lot less than that, but I counted them all. I was counting them all today. I was writing down, I made a whole notepad full of every song and when they were written. And I've written around 120. The notepad only has 114, but I forgot to place a couple songs that were pretty obvious that needed to be in there. And yeah, I'm a big writer. Songs are a lot easier to write than stories, because stories you have to think a lot more about how it's going to progress and everything. Well, when it comes to lyrics, of course there is some sort of progression, but it's more about what feeling you want to give off and the flow of it. And I'm not a very good like lyric writer. I do dive into like my own mental state or feelings or whatnot, but it's not ever satisfying to me, though a lot of people that I know have said it's pretty good for songwriting. But I think it needs some work, and I also need to work on my other writing. Like, I haven't written anything in a long time, like story-wise. I've like written like like little notepads full of details for stories and stuff, or ideas for stories, but nothing like crazy. I haven't written anything like that crazy since May of last year. So I need to get back into that. I think I mentioned that last episode, or maybe the first episode even, that I need to work on writing. Besides writing, here's a little story, you see. So yesterday was Friday, I think. Yeah, it was Friday yesterday, 27th. And so on Fridays at my school, we finish classes early. We finish at 11:35 in the morning, start at 7:30. But we started at 11:35 in the morning, and we didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to do after school. So my friend was like, "Hey, let's go shopping for manga, because he needs some Demon Slayer volumes that he can't find anywhere else, even on websites." It's the 17th and 9th volume of Demon Slayer. So we went to go find it. Like, we went to this anime store, like, and it just sells anime related products there. And the thing is, we only thought we were going to go there. We didn't think we'd end up traveling around the entire city. Initially, our only plan was to just go to the store, look, and if there was nothing, we'll just leave. That's what I thought, at least. So we went there. I found what I was looking for, which is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Volume 6. I'm only missing 3 more volumes now. And so I got what I was looking for. They had a bunch of Chainsaw Man volumes there, but I'm not that interested in Chainsaw Man, so I didn't buy any, although they were really cheap. Also, I'm kind of on a tight budget, so I didn't want to spend too much money. So we went there, and we didn't find much for him, at least. I found a lot of cool stuff for me. So we were like, okay, let's leave. And there's 2 locations, but one of the locations was closed. So we were like, what do we do now? And he was like, well, I got a lot of time, so we can just look in the center. And I was like, yeah, I know a route we can take. So we took the subway, or the metro, we call it. And we took it to the university, and there's a bookstore in the underpass there at the metro station. We looked there, nothing. Then we walked down into the center, Walked down this one main street. We went to a bookstore there. Nothing. We went to get some gyros. We were hungry, and then we went to another bookstore. Nothing there. So after that, we went to another walking street. This one's like it's called Vitushka. It's named after the mountain or whatever. And then we walked down that street, hit two bookstores. Nothing at either one of them. Stuff for me, but not for him. I didn't buy anything though. And then we were like, okay, what now? And he was like, well, I got time. I have nothing to do all day. And I was like, yeah, same. So let's go to the mall that's like across the city. Not really across the city, but it's not that close. So he took the metro again to a mall, and we went there. There's two bookshops in there. Nothing again and nothing again. So we were like, ah, shit, where do we go now? And he was like, well, we can go to this other mall that's like on the other side of the city, quite literally. So we take the metro. We take the metro and then the bus, and then we go to this other mall. Absolutely nothing there. Like, there's some stuff, but it's not like anything. It wasn't anything we needed, or at least I didn't need any of it. He didn't either. But we eventually did find like 2 volumes that he didn't have, 8th volume and 13th volume. So we were kind of successful, but they sold those everywhere online anyway. He was only looking for 2 specific volumes that they didn't sell anywhere else. But it was still somewhat successful, and I was successful. But I now realize that Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro is quite a common manga to find here, but it's always the same 3 volumes. It's always like volume 3, 4, and 5. It's no other volume. Now I'm starting to see like 7 and 9 pop up here and there, but volume 2 and volume 6 are kind of hard. Volume 1 is like insanely rare. And then the other volumes just don't exist apparently. So we went to this mall, nothing there. We got lost in the mall too. It was a very weird mall. I haven't been there in like 7 years, so, you know. And then we were like, okay, where to now? And he was like, well, you told me about this one store, yeah? And I was like, well, that's across the city again. That's like on the other side of town. And he was like, yeah, let's go to it. And I was like, all right, fine. So we took the bus there, went there, and that's where we found one of the volumes he didn't have. I didn't find anything I needed. That used to be like the only store that sold Full Metal Alchemist, like the 3-in-1s and also the single volumes, but this time they had like nothing related to Full Metal except for the special editions, which I can't afford because they're like $30. So yeah, it was quite a journey, and then we went again to like the edge of fucking North Sofia, and we departed ways, and that was a fun trip. It was extremely hot outside though. And yeah, it was like 30 something degrees, and I was sweating ferociously the entire time, but it was fun either way. Those stuff I did want to talk about, because it's a podcast, you can talk about whatever you want. I'm not sure, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what to do with like my ideas in general. So like in the music world right now, I'm supposed to be like like not really producing at all, because I don't think either one of us produced any beats for this mixtape, but I'm supposed to be mixing the mixtape, I guess, or uploading or something. But the thing is, about my own music, I'm very passionate about it, but at the same time, I've reached this sort of creative block where not only do I lack motivation, but I just don't want to work on it that much, which is a normal thing for artists. I don't like to consider myself an artist when it comes to drawing, but I too am at sort of a block for that. And I do need to work on my like positioning and perspectives, because like my anatomy isn't terrible. I do need to work on it a bit, but it was something that's kind of my stronger suit over the years, was my anatomy and sort of character design, but like it's not that great. I don't even like to call myself an artist because of it. They're like, oh, you draw, you must be an artist. I'm like, hell no, don't call me that. I feel like I bring shame to the artist community. But yeah, I just don't feel like drawing that much, although I have a lot of ideas. Same thing with writing. I've been writing a lot, but it's mostly been either like kind of writing like lyrics for like one third of a song, giving up, forgetting about it, or like writing some sort of like journal to myself where I write my feelings down or something, or I just write on fucking Twitter. I just write whatever I'm thinking on Twitter. Quite literally, it's my description too. And when it comes to those two areas especially, I'm very unmotivated. And with YouTube and Twitch, like I'm even more clueless on what to do because I have a lot of projects in the making. Not only like Discord Tales, which although it was technically supposed to be done by last year, like the entire series, I started editing again, kind of. Well, I kind of skimmed through all the footage I have edited, and it's looking all right. It's not that great. It's gonna take a while to edit because it's a lot of footage. I didn't know that segment would be the longest segment of the entire like series, but I'll figure it out. And for SRHR, I haven't really been keeping up with any news, and I know I said in the last one that I'd change up the format and just talk about whatever the hell, but then I have this podcast where that's basically the idea, is to talk about whatever's going on, so I do need some kind of focus for SRHR. So I'm gonna probably, like, I need to figure something out. I need ideas for it, and maybe it will be like a mini thing, like not like the videos will be short or whatever, and then I would actually work on other commentary-esque videos, because I don't know what to make, because I don't want to stick to one thing. Like, I don't want to stick to only SRHR, because I think that really brings, like, how do I phrase this? It doesn't let me be that creative. It's very restricted. And I want to go back to how I used to make videos, which was I just make whatever the hell I wanted, and that's how it would be. And I like my old videos from Psychotica, like the Roblox High School one. It was dumb as shit. Not that the editing wasn't great, and I was really stupid back then. But it was a really fun video to make, and the CS:GO video, of course. And I don't want to be like the generic fucking subtitled CS:GO YouTubers or whatever, because I'm not a big fan of those. People watch them, but I don't know what format I want to go for. I want to go for more of a like commentary, like slash skit sort of thing, or like not talk show, but like video essays too. Video essays are something I love. I'm just really bad at editing them. My first time editing a video essay ever, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to put on screen. I'm not showing a PowerPoint presentation. This is kind of different. Video essays are like fun, and I like them a lot. And talking about video games is something I do like to talk about. Rants is something I would love to do, because I have a lot to rant about. I have a lot of stupid videos to make that I want to make. I just need to find the motivation and inspiration to do it, which is kind of hard. Recently, like not long, maybe a couple. What the hell is happening? Did the TV just turn on? Okay, let me let me close the door. All right, oh fuck. That shit scared me, not gonna lie. Okay, sorry for that. I don't cut podcasts, so you deal with it. Not long after my birthday, maybe a couple days after, like around Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. I as I mentioned earlier, I've been taking a break from Discord. It started on Thursday. Just some stuff came up, and personal stuff and old feelings and whatnot, and that really ruined my pacing. And I don't feel motivated to do anything now, because I'm sort of in this state where I'm sad, but I want to do something with myself. But this feeling really drags you down, and I won't dive into it, because I don't know how I would even bring it up or talk about it, because it does involve people that I know watch these things and listen or whatever, and I don't even know if they do, but I haven't been doing that great, but it's a natural thing in life. And you got to take care of your mental health. So I think a break from Discord is like the best thing. It's so liberating. You have no idea how good it feels to just not use Discord. I still use Instagram and like not Facebook, but I still use Instagram and like Twitter or whatnot because I just do my own thing on there and I don't really care what other people are doing. But like on Discord, I kind of care more, but I stopped using it. And because of this, I've just been lacking a lot of motivation. And I just want to focus on more personal problems, not necessarily my dilemmas with projects or anything, because I could put those off to the side. I've been feeling a bit down, and I do want to work on that, and I do want to work while I'm in this state because I think it could give me some good ideas. I did start cleaning my room at one point, and that was fun. I didn't get much done because this room is a complete mess. Right now, my table's covered in garbage. Not garbage, but like it's covered in papers and bags and whatnot, Sharpies and sticky notes with things to mark, to label like papers. And I've been collecting a bunch of books and documents that I don't need anymore, or like things that I can put on a bookshelf somewhere, and I've been planning out how I'm going to make my room look so it can look good in the future in case I do film again. So that was fun. It did feel quite relieving. I've just like put on that one Spotify playlist, I Love My 90s Hip Hop, and just listen to that. Not really blast, but just put it on a nice medium volume, like nice low volume, and just like listen to it, clean and whatnot. and that did feel good. It liberated me a bit. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm very motivated to work. Like, I haven't played like any video games in the past, I don't know, week. Maybe not a week, but almost a week. What was the last game I played? Probably like Discord Golf or something. I haven't been playing much, but I hope to soon, and probably stream on Twitch, which is something. It's not that I don't feel motivated to do. It's mostly because I don't know how I can do it without many problems, because my computer is a very low-end computer. It's not that great. It's survived like 15 years, 10 years with the same parts. And streaming at one point, 2019, streaming worked fine. Even though my computer was like, holy crap, I don't even know. Mine is even in bigger mess now, but I have better parts and stuff now. 2021, it worked sometimes. It didn't work a couple times, and I had to end stream. But last time I tried streaming, which was a couple months ago, I think, February, it didn't go well at all. This was before I got my new graphics card, though, so now that I can set it to GPU, so that it doesn't affect anything too much. But I do want to stream, and I have games that I want to stream, because streaming is a lot of fun for me, and although it's a bit lazy when it comes to content, it can like spark some great ideas. Like the whole thing that made Discord Tales so fun for me was because it was just completely by random chance. I just started recording, boom, things happened, and it gave me ideas. And although those ideas didn't make it too far, they still did happen. And that's why SRHR just was fun, because I just talk about cool things that happen throughout my day. And although things do happen throughout my day nowadays, they're not that interesting. And even back then, they weren't that interesting. But now they feel like something I can just mention on a podcast casually. Don't need to make a whole video about it. So yeah, I do need to update my driver, which, as a matter of fact, I do have the driver, the new updated driver installed. I just need to, install it. I have the installer for the install, so you know what I need to do. So I hope to be streaming soon, because I do like streaming, and I highlights are easy to make, and they're good filler if it's actually good. Like I liked the Celeste ones. I thought they were kind of funny. They're not that great, but like they were fun to make. And the thing about YouTube is that I'm very limited when it comes to the the gear I have. Not gear, but like the how good my computer is. For editing, my computer is fine, but for filming, the thing is I can't like plug in my good camera into my computer and record with it. Like I have a Lumix, but it's an old model, and I don't think it's it. Researched it, and or not researched it. I'm pretty sure there is a cord that is compatible with it. But the thing is, the cord probably costs a lot. Probably costs like $70, and I'm not gonna spend that much if I'm not even gonna Twitch stream that often. But like, I want to start streaming again because now that I have a better computer and a new SSD drive, I can play games at better speeds and stream it better and probably even in higher quality. You know, like those Celeste videos, they were like in 480p. So that's what I've been really thinking about. Been thinking about life and just what I want to do now, because now maybe it's because I'm like growing older or something, but now I'm a lot more focused on real life rather than what's happening. And I've also been kind of existential a bit, and been because of that little event that happened on Thursday, I haven't been feeling like much is even worth it, or how do I say it? Because I don't want it to come out wrong, because I don't mean anything that bad. I mean, like, it doesn't feel like I'm doing the exact thing that I want to do, or that I think is right, or that I think would other people would like. And it's not like it matters if other people like it or not. Of course not. Because my channel survived that long, and I know it's not that great. And like, I think actually it's been a decline since 2020. That was like a great year. And I remember all these projects that I want to do, and I think about them for a bit, but then I think, well, do I really want to do this? Because a lot of my friends, they played like certain games or whatever and do this and that, and I'm like, I want to be like them, and I want to do that on video, but better. And I try to motivate myself, and then I was like, wait, I can't actually. Like, when I get started, I'm like, wait, no, I cannot do this. Or like when it reaches editing phase, I'm like, give up on this. So that's how it's been on YouTube, really. Back to music. As I said earlier, I apparently have written around 120 songs in the past 2 years, maybe 3, like 2 years and a half. And this kind of came out of nowhere, really. I didn't realize I wrote that many songs. A lot of them aren't fully finished, but they still are songs I've written. Some of them are only like 10 lines, but I don't know. Maybe it's a chant. But like they weren't finished, but they still were written. 100 out of those 114 songs, about 50 were released. The rest were never produced and only stayed in a lyrical state, or maybe a couple of them have like a beat or something. But I've been writing. I've written a lot of songs because I have a lot on my mind, and sometimes when you want to write like a story or something, or just a journal, like a log to yourself, it doesn't come out right. And even my writing and my music, as I said, isn't that great. People like it, but I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe it's just because it's just the writer's mindset. Because although I'm a native speaker, well, it doesn't even matter in that sense, but even though I'm a writer, I tend to not try to use big words. I don't think you need to use big words and complicated structuring in your text to get your point across. When it comes to essays, I write them in a very similar format. That's on the edge of being casual, but still points out everything it needs to. It feels like you're looking into my mind. That's how I try to write my essays. And that's how they should be, especially if you're trying to write on a topic and you really want to get a certain view on some, like, whatever subject it is. And although I never really was taught how to write exactly, because I know a lot of my friends, they go to these really prestigious schools that costs hundreds of dollars to just be in, and they have all these projects they need to do, and they speak very well, and they write very well, and they do all these really fucking cool projects. In my opinion, I would love to do some of those. And when I show them my deepest work, or like hard the work some work I've worked very hard on, it doesn't seem like it's that much, or at least that's how I see it comparing it to them. And you should never compare your work that much to someone else. Like, it's good to compare, but not to really compare it negatively, Like, you can critique yourself, but a habit of mine is that I just take everything in very negatively. And that's why I haven't been able to appreciate my own writing for so long. And I'm pretty sure a lot of writers can relate to that. So on the topic of music, it feels very mediocre, even though some of it covers very dark and personal things, and things that I'm too embarrassed to even talk about in a normal conversation. And that's why it's never released. But that's what most of the songs comprise of. And sometimes the songs just feel very petty. And it feels like when I write them, I'm just like, why am I writing this? I've talked about this with different people, friends and family, and why do I need to write about this again? Why does it feel like I have to write about it? And why do I keep coming back to this subject? And I don't know why, really. It's weird. It influences a lot of my life too. But otherwise, when it comes to story writing, my process is, I don't even know what my process is. I think I'm a pretty good storyteller. When it comes to conversation, I can usually get the story across in a decent way. Back in 2021, I used to tell a lot of stories to people. I would join voice channels and tell stories to people because why not? It was fun. And I think I was pretty good at it. People called me the storyteller, and I called myself the storyteller. So, I thought I was pretty good at it. And my writing is, I think when it comes to stories, I think my writing is pretty good. I think I can establish a good setting and atmosphere and really well project my idea onto that paper. But when it comes to like a full, like an overall story line, it's very hard for me to put together. And I can write summaries of my own stories, but you kind of have to connect it yourself, really, because it's hard for me to connect it, although I know how everything works. When it comes to school, I'm not the best student. And I don't think anyone is really that great of a student. Well, no, that's a stupid statement to make. I mean, like a lot of my classmates, they don't really care that much. It's like, I just want to get a passing grade so I can move on. And although that seems like a very bad mindset, you should always put some sort of effort into everything. And that I do exactly that. And since I go to school in Bulgarian, it's a little harder for me to write. So when I write something, I really feel super dumb. And that's something I've been very insecure about for a really long time, because I've had friends that are very good at writing, and they're very good at these very analytical things, and they're very good at research. They're very good at formatting and making these presentations and stuff. And I'm over here learning in a foreign school, and I have no potential at all because I don't know how to do any of these things or translate it over into this language and format it the way they want to format it. It's very hard for me. So I write very simple, like when I have to make an analogy of two different things or something, or an analysis, it's very hard for me to put my ideas into words, because I could write it in English, and I can write it in my very casual structure, which although it makes me sound pretty dumb, it does get the point across and gets the job done, literally. And when it comes to school, I just feel stupid. And it's something I've been very insecure about for years. I'm sometimes insecure about my own education, even though people have told me I'm intelligent to some degree. We're all bad at some subjects, but for me, it just feels like I'm bad at every subject purely because of the language barrier. And I practice the language too, and I can understand it fully, but it's hard for me to get it into my head and also to express myself. Not only because I don't like my lexicon is weak or something like that. It's just it's hard, and well, I know a lot of foreigners that learned in foreign countries can relate to this. I have friends who can relate to this, and they also are in Bulgaria and other countries. But it makes me sad that I can't show my full potential in a lot of projects because nothing's in English. And I'm failing a lot, not failing, but like I'm not doing great in a lot of subjects purely because of that language barrier. For example, history. I'm not a history buff, but I do really enjoy history. Eastern European history mostly. Like Western history is kind of boring for me. But I know things. I can tell the history very well usually. But in Bulgarian, I just suck at it. Like I'm there studying for a test, and then I get to the test and I'm like, holy shit, what did I read? I remember some things, but not everything. Otherwise, on the other hand, if I read it from the Wikipedia page, I can just tell you the entire, like, not Wikipedia, but if I just read about, like, I don't know, like, fucking the Balkan Wars and the financial state of the Balkans after that, and then like the transitioning into the First World War, then what happens after that, I can tell you that I can tell you it in a heartbeat. No problem at all. In English, though, when it comes to Bulgarian, I have a lot of trouble transitioning from one sentence to another because in speech it's very different from writing, and even in writing I have a hard time. But yeah, I feel stupid. I'm not very good at math. And honestly, I'm not that ashamed of it. I used to be kind of good at math until like 7th grade. And I don't really care that much. Like, whatever. Who needs math? Of course you need math, but everything after like 3rd grade, you don't really need it unless you're going to pursue a job in the area, which is why you do learn it to an advanced level in high school. And like, I don't care if I'm bad at math. Biology, on the other hand, is a very easy subject. And I do know a lot about, like, the things, what goes on in biology, the body and stuff. I learned a lot of it in English a long time ago, maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago, because I used to be a nerd. And I learned a lot of stuff in biology. And I've learned the same things over and over the years, but in Bulgarian, and that somehow makes me forget it even easier. And it sucks, because biology is not a hard subject. Chemistry, on the other hand, can be a little confusing, but I'm better at it, that's for sure. And physics is something, even though it uses math, I'm pretty good at I'm pretty good at like the whole theory and stuff, the theories and things. The formulas, yeah, a lot of them are really easy, and so there's not that many problems there when it comes to physics. I've been in a pretty good state physics for like in physics class for like the past few years, so I haven't had any problems there. When it comes to English, because I'm in a foreign school, we always learn things at like basic level. So I'm just sitting there in class on my phone, just listening the whole time because I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm not on my phone all the time, but like those are a few times that I was for like 2 hours, and I was like, holy shit, what am I doing? Because they didn't like ask me to do any of the assignments, and I do the assignments at home because, don't want to get bad grades. And I do the assignments in class too, but they don't like calling me to present them. Other subjects like sports. I mean, I'm not an athlete, but I'm pretty good at sports. Basketball, I think I'm pretty good at basketball. Not pretty good. I think I'm like good at scoring. I'm good at defense. I'm not that great at attacking. Something it was really funny back in my last school. They used to call me the tractor because when I'd intercept someone, sometimes I'd actually like ram them in and take the ball from them, but like not intentionally, so it wasn't a foul or anything. Okay, maybe it was a foul a couple times, but like I just intimidate them to just charging at them and just stealing the ball from them, and then I'd try and score, and usually 2 out of the 5 times I'd score. But that's not that bad of a ratio, you know? That's like what, 20 no, 20%. Fucking who cares? And volleyball I'm not that great at. Like I can be decent. I'm very bad at orientating my body when I'm looking up. When it comes to basketball, it's a lot easier to orientate your body because you're constantly with the ball and you know its position. And even though in volleyball you know the position of the ball when it's in the air, you need to be very connected with your senses in order to predict where it's going to go. And you need to know how much power to use, of course. And that really goes for any sport. So volleyball, I'm really bad at serving because I'm a weak little boy and I can't serve properly. But when it comes to like other things, I'm like an average player. Just my friend keeps jumping in front of me, like it's like the ball's coming for me. Okay, I'll pass it to the guy in front. I'll like pass it up to the guy in front so he can shoot it. But this guy, he just comes out of nowhere. He's on the other side of the play, like the playing area. And then he just jumps over and just fucking hits the ball and it goes off the course. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I was in position. And I'd like try and intercept the ball too. And then like 5 other dudes come out of nowhere. And I'm like, holy shit, guys, come on. Soccer, I'm all right at. When it comes to shooting, pretty shit. Goalie, pretty good. I like playing goalie, of course. Probably because you can use your hands, but... Golf, I'm really bad at, but that's not really in school. So, mini golf, yeah, I'm good. What other sports do you play in school? When it comes to running and sprinting, I think I'm pretty fast. Probably because I'm very not scrawny, but I'm very agile and quick, and I'm thin. I don't know. Fucking, does that help the aerodynamics? Probably. Fucking, I don't know. I was the fastest in like the 4 grades. I was like one of the fastest in high school at one point. Like not last year, or maybe it was last year. No, it was a while ago before I was in high school. But I was very fast. Everything else, all the other physical exams, I was pretty good at. The long jump, I'd usually get over 2 meters. Which, how much is 2 meters? Like, I don't know. 2 yards and a half. Fucking, I don't know. How much is a yard? Let me search right now, actually. You know, I have a phone. If only my phone would actually work fast enough. Okay, 2.20, that's my record, meters to feet. 7 feet 2 inches. So that's how far I can jump. That's my record. Or my record might be 25, but either way, so 7 feet, what was it, 7.2? Yeah, just say 7.3 is my record. When it comes to the triple jump, I don't know shit. I don't think I've ever done it before. It's not really required here, I guess, when it comes to physical programs. The throwing, I'm really shit at because I don't have that much upper body strength. I've been working out recently, but it's not like that much. It's like I'd do some crunches, I'd bench, and of course do some push-ups, work on the upper part of my arm, biceps, and then I'd work on. I don't fucking know the muscles, so you gotta help me out here, Google. Let me see right here. Let me see right here. Muscles of the arms. And wait, let me close my door. All right, it's already closed. So muscles of the arms. Let's see right here. Thank you, Google Images. Encyclopedia Britannica. Oh, hell no. I don't understand this graph. Either way, I've been working on my upper body a bit. I do need to work on fucking pecs, dude. You know, how are they called? Pecticular fucking muscles. And of course, abs, but fucking, that can wait. I have more lower body strength because I ride my bike and hike every year, you know. I ride my bike. I used to ride my bike a lot, and I used to hike a lot, and I walk around every day basically. So I have a lot more strength down there because I've been doing it for years and pretty casually too. But on the other hand, I do need to work on my upper body. So I suck at throwing. What other tests do you have to do? So I don't think we do high jump. Yeah, that's not a thing here. The 300 meter sprint or 500 meter, I usually don't do it, or not the entire thing, because we have it separated. So usually dudes do like 500 meters, or at least this is how it was in my last school. Bulgarian system is very inconsistent when it comes to sports. 500 meters in my last school, girls did 300 meters. I did 500 meters the first semester of my first year and realized that was, no, don't do that ever again. Or maybe it was my second year. No, it was first year, second semester I did it, and that fucked me up. Because I have a heart condition, and it was very hard for me to run for a very long time. I did get, I think, second place on fastest every single semester because I could do it very well. When it comes to pushing myself, I have a strong will, and I will push myself as far as I can to do something. And I wish that was same. I wish it was the same for videos, but as you can see, it's not. But when it comes to sports, yeah, I'm not that great. Otherwise, other subjects I'm pretty good in. Like, what subjects am I good in, actually? IT, I fucking hate, because back in my old school, in the British School of Sofia is where I used to go, you had to take programming mandatory. It was mandatory to take programming lessons for HTML, which HTML is pretty easy, you know. But then you had to take like C++ and all of that shit. And it was also on a MacBook, which made it so much worse because I hate Mac and I hate Apple. Okay, I love Apple. I've been using Apple most of my life, actually. Longer than Android, probably. Actually, not true. But yeah, this is all I really had in mind for saying today, because there's not much to really talk about when nothing has happened during your week. Like, I just had some tests and stuff, you know. Didn't really do much. I've been taking a break from Discord, so just focusing on my mental health, just really thinking about life and my plans for the future. So it's been very nice, actually, talking about something that isn't just my life, you know. And we'll see how things progress this next week, because this week I don't have any tests or exams, but in 2 weeks I do, which sucks because they are finals, and well, I'm going to get a good grade. I'm fine with that. And I really want to work this week, but everything has to be perfect. The weather has to be perfect. I have to be motivated, and I don't want to be super sweaty when I record, and I don't want to have to take a shower before I record, especially if I'm on video. When it comes to like recording a video essay, it doesn't really matter. But we'll see. I really will try and get to work this week. So thank you for listening. So this has been the Tchavda podcast. My co-host Sushku will be joining us, hopefully, probably not next episode, actually, so we'll see about the guests next week. And this has been me, Psychotica. Again, Bogomil Giro, Kikoa B, Tchavdar, however you want to call me. Some call me B. And hope you enjoyed this episode of the Tchavda podcast, and I will see you in like 5 days. All right. See ya.